Hey Vivas, and welcome to another Viva Aaliyah. I said that very quickly and I almost choked myself. I was so excited to talk to all of you and still am. But excuse me for this. We have an amazing show for you today and I cannot wait to interview this guest. This is probably one of the most influential guests that we've had on the show. We have a cosmetic brand. We have a cosmetic brand on Viva Aaliyah. Can you imagine? Like, what is going on here? This is the end of our second season, and we finally have brands on the show. I'm so excited. And not only do we have cosmetic brands, but we have one of the most beautiful people that I've met. And this person is one of the higher ups at this brand, but I've only met them for like 30 seconds prior to the show, and already can tell you that this person is probably going to be one of my lifelong friends because they are such a beautiful person. So I just want to tell you that right off the bat. But before we jump into Viva Aaliyah, I just want to say I'm so happy that we've had 2 seasons and that we are at the end of our second season, and I'm already booking for season 3. Like, these are big times for us. So thank you all for tuning in. I am actually looking at the amount of viewers we have right now, and this is just such an amazing experience for me and for everybody that's involved in Viva Aaliyah. I just want to say thank you to all of you who view the show. So, without further ado, because I cannot wait to talk to this beautiful human being, I just want to say that I have been reaching out to this cosmetic brand for probably, I would say like 4 or 5 months. And they responded immediately. And they have some of the best cosmetics I have ever tried. I'm wearing their cosmetics today. And I just want to say that my brows, if you can see them, the glitter that you see on the top and the bottom of my brows are from them. The lip, this beautiful red lip that I'm wearing, is from them. And the gloss on top of it is just in the center because we love a little pout moment, don't we? We love a little pout moment, is from them. And so they are Fluide Cosmetics. And not only are they Fluide Cosmetics, but we are Fluid. And why are we Fluid? We're going to get into that in just a second. So I want to welcome to the stage the lovely land of Viva Aaliyah. Give it up for Deb. I love Deb. I already love you. So welcome, babe.
Oh my God, those are such kind words.
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on the end of your second season. That's incredible.
I mean, this is literally like the dream round out to the second season, is having not only like a brand, but a cosmetics brand, but also a cosmetic brand that like airs towards our community. That's not normal. It's not what we have in the world today. So thank you for everything that you're doing.
Thank you. I'm excited to get into it.
Before we start, and before I ask you the most important question, which is what's in your glass, I have to ask you, like, can you talk to me a little bit about this gorgeous Kelly Rowland moment you have going on?
Ooh. I just ran from a dance class because I'm also a dancer. And so, you need some movement, some volume. And before the video, I had to throw in a little bit of Rosemont, plug our own lipstick.
Yes!
And my little hoodie. But yeah.
I'm literally jumping on the website to buy one of those hoodies because I saw that you actually do more than just cosmetics, and we're actually going to talk about that a little bit today. So I'm very excited about that. But the most important question on Viva Aaliyah is, what is in your glass, babe? What are you drinking today? What are we doing?
Today she's feeling bougie. She's drinking a little champagne, a little bubbly. So, get there.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
So all of our Viva watchers out there, go ahead and comment and talk to us about what you're drinking and let us know what's in your glass, because that's what we're about. We want to have casual conversation. We want to talk to you in a setting that is very homey. And so talk to us about what's in your glass. The thing I want to talk to you about first is the history behind. First of all, actually, before I jump into questions, We Are Fluid is the official name, or Fluid is the official name? Because I have seen both in logos. And what's the situation with We Are Fluid versus Fluid?
Yeah, so the company is called We Are Fluide. Briefly, it was Beauty, but we changed our name to We Are Fluide. I think it represents more of the community aspect, and it's a little bit more than just cosmetics. We are fluid. We are a community, and so it's called We Are Fluid, but you also can shorthand it like Fluid.
I love that. Oh yes, it's across our street. Actually, it's framing you right now, which is beautiful. So Fluide, not fluid. We Are Fluide. I love that. And is there a reason that the company decided to go with kind of like the French route of fluid versus fluid?
That's a great question. That I don't necessarily know so I came in a little bit after the process of this, but yeah, I honestly don't know the answer to that. I'll get back to you about that.
I mean, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing on my own show, so that's fine, and I make the decisions here. So this is nothing compared to what I do. I mean, I literally. So to be honest with you, I actually had a drag show today. I was in Jersey City. I did a brunch, and then my husband had to wake me up like 20 minutes before the show so that I could touch up the makeup and put the hair on. So I don't even know. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing.
It's a pandemic. We always have an excuse.
Honey, isn't it though? It is literally the pandemic. The pandemic is kind of like the biggest thing that we're facing right now, but also it's just like figuring out who we are during the pandemic. Like, who am I in this moment? What am I doing? Like, am I allowed to do the things that I love to do? Am I not allowed to do the things that I love to do? So I'm very happy that you actually got to do your class today, which is wonderful. Yeah. And then we're able to join us after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about the history behind We Are Fluid. Like, what prompted the start of the company, and then where are we today?
This is a big question, but I'll try and synthesize. So Fluide was.
Take your time, baby. We want to hear all about you.
I'll give you a monologue. So Fluide was started by Laura Kraber and Isabella Joan Carlos, which were the two original founders. And they both kind of came from two different angles. Laura is a mother of Gen Z children. And, you know, the Gen Z, what is the word? Generation is a lot different than some of the older generations. There is a sense of fluidity that is more accepted and more embraced. And I think what Laura was coming from is wanting to have a beauty brand that represented her children and that her children could feel seen. And then Laura, or Isabella, was also came from a place of being a queer woman who didn't always have the best relationship with makeup growing up. I think we often find makeup can be so political, and for a lot of people, whether you're assigned female at birth or assigned male at birth, it can really be triggering. It can be traumatic. We all have our own stories around beauty and that are both positive and negative. And so I think both of them really came from such a genuine place of wanting to create a brand that is for everyone, that is inclusive, and that represents beauty in a way that isn't just through a male gaze or through a cis white woman gaze, like a brand that really is for everyone, that everyone can feel seen and represented. That's what drew me to Fluide too.
Yes. And what actually drew you to start at Fluide?
So it's really, this story is kind of funny. And I think speaks to just the openness of Fluide and Laura. I actually was served like digital ads on Fluide's first collection, which was the liquid lipsticks. And I just remember seeing like images of people that I had never seen before. I come from like a makeup influencer and art dance background. So when I saw like the ads and the beauty space and the people being represented, I emailed Fluide and I was like, how do I get into a campaign? How do I work with you? All I knew is that I needed to be a part of this brand because it was so much bigger than me. It was something that I always needed growing up, being someone who was assigned male at birth and having to navigate those spaces as a person, having to navigate, trying makeup, buying makeup in the drugstore, not seeing people of color, queer people of color represented in this space. So for me, I remember I saw there was black male, like a gay black man in an ad wearing lipstick, and I was like, whoa, what is this? I need to work with them. And so it started with, Corey, I love Corey, but it started with me just doing a photo shoot. And from there, I started giving advice and just my opinion on products. And now I'm the chief creative officer. So it's kind of crazy when I think about it, just how things can change. You go from being a fan of a brand to like a pivotal part, like change maker within the company. So I love that.
That's honestly one of the best stories I've ever heard in a company. So in my daytime job, I actually am HR, like director, higher up. So hearing a story like that is such a wonderful thing to hear. Also, I just want to say, you're like Diana Ross slash like Studio 54 beautiful hair is some of the best hair we've had on this show, including mine. And so thank you for pulling this out and like primping up for us today, because this is beautiful hair. I live.
Thank you. I had to give it to you.
Honey, you have given us life and death in this moment. So Taj Masetza, hello Aaliyah and Dev. Hi Taj, how are you, babe? Dev, can I ask, I'm gonna ask you a question that's a little bit off of what we have had on our as my viewers know, I send you all the questions ahead of time, but I want to know, as somebody who identifies as they, them, theirs, what was it like jumping into this like corporate world of cosmetics, and how have you navigated that? Just because our show is 100% about queer people telling their stories in their way and making sure that we have a voice in our community. And so I would love to hear from you, as somebody who identifies as they, them, theirs, how you navigated that working. I know you kind of told your story of how you were just giving advice and then you worked your way up to where you are now, but I would love to hear how you started and how you navigated that.
That's such an interesting story. I mean, interesting question. I've never thought too much about it, but before I even worked for Fluide, I worked, because I wouldn't consider Fluide corporate, just because we're a really small team, and it's very intimate, and a lot more inclusive than most spaces, but I do come from a corporate background. I went to school for marketing and dance. So I have, especially being a queer Black person, had to figure out how to navigate those spaces and how to demand respect for my pronouns, for my identity, and even just for my femininity. And I think that has been really a journey. I think a lot of us can relate. Like, part of it is the discovery myself of just, I didn't come out the womb thinking I was they, them, and non-binary and gender fluid. But um, once I really had an understanding of how I identify and who I am, I really, I come from a place of, I know my worth and I know what I demand, and that is respect. And I don't care if you're the president of the United States or if you are like the person down the street, you will respect me. And so that kind of is that kind of is just the way I've always kind of approached that and navigated that is just with 100% authenticity. I mean, I can recognize that is not easy for everyone, and I'm sure there's some privileges that I hold in just my upbringing and my sense of self. But yeah, I've always been someone who, once I set my mind to something, it is everyone else's job to catch up. It's not my job. So I really know my worth. I know what I demand. I've fought to be here and I fought to discover who I am. And so I'm not going to let all of that hard work be pushed to the side for anyone.
Honey, preach. Because the congregation needs to listen. If they haven't listened, they need to listen. That is the best description of why we should actually respect our gender pronouns. And I know we started out saying personal gender pronouns or like preferred gender pronouns, but they are literally just gender pronouns. They are not preferred, they are not personal, they are across the board, and we need to respect them, and we need to make sure that people are identified the way that they feel and the way that they access the world. And so thank you, literally, thank you for that story, because that's probably the best description of what I could say gender pronouns are about. And so I just, yeah, I started out this show saying I respect you so much. Which city are you based in? Oh, that's a great question. We'll get to that in just a second, but I just want to say I have talked about pronouns a lot on this show, but that's probably the best description we've ever had of why and how we should identify somebody. And it's literally what you said. You do that, and so people need to actually catch up. That's end of story. You do that, that's you. People need to catch up.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh my God, you make me cry.
What city would you say Fluide is most prominent in?
Yeah, so Fluide Headquarters are based in Brooklyn. I'm also in Brooklyn. You're in Brooklyn, so New York.
Come on, New York. We're on the Upper East Side, so we're not far from each other. Actually, the favorite apartment that my husband and I have had is in Brooklyn, in Bushwick area. So
yeah, that's where I am.
That's where we actually, our heart is still in Bushwick, but we're on the Upper East Side.
Very different vibes.
100% different vibes. I feel like I'm very light skinned, but I'm a Mexican and Native American person, and I feel like I'm a rich white woman here on the Upper East Side versus where I was like walking out of my apartment in very Boricua vibes in Bushwick. So I feel like it's a very different scenario as to where I am now. So Fluide is very focused, especially on LGBTQ people, and there's a very prominent like stance on the website and all of that. Why, for people that are watching that are not LGBTQ people, why did Fluide decide to take that stance and say these cosmetics are for everybody, but this is why we're taking this stance?
So I think it really speaks to the politics behind makeup. We don't often see representation for queer people in cosmetics, and so I think it's just really important that everyone feels included. One thing I like to say is like beauty is such an aspirational industry. It's the job of like cosmetics and beauty from a marketing standpoint is to like show people what they can do, what they can be, the aspiration of like, oh, I see myself in this billboard being celebrated as beautiful and glamorous and incredible. And we don't often see that for males in makeup or trans people in makeup or even like queer women. Like it's a very clear homogenous like group that you see in like advertisements and everything. So I think it's really important to have a brand that makes that, oh, that's me, but have a brand that stakes their, like, makes a strong, firm argument and holds a place for people in the LGBT community because it's no secret, like, queer people, especially like trans women, Black trans women, the contouring, the makeup, all of that comes from our community. So we should be the ones being celebrated and celebrated within this space. So I think it's so important.
100%. We don't have enough representation in the queer community in cosmetic brands themselves. And the reason I actually reached out to We Are Fluide is the fact that honestly, it was a Google search. It was like queer cosmetic brands, queer brands, whatever I was searching that day. And the second I clicked on the website, I was literally just drawn. I was very, very enthralled. I needed to be a part of this family. And it was something that made me feel like I belonged somewhere outside of just like a brand, like a influencer for the brand. I felt much more than just that for your brand, and I hadn't even talked to you yet, and so it was something that made me feel very at home, and so that's the reason I really wanted you on the show today, is to make sure that we talked about this because your brand is such a welcoming and warm and homey environment. It really is. It's something that I will never. Also, I have to say I'm not wearing any of your nail polish today, but I was sent some of your nail polish, and it's probably the best nail polish I've ever actually used in my entire life. My husband can attest. I painted, polished one of my nails in the glitter nail polish, and it lasted longer than any nail polish I've ever used. And I worked for Sephora and a lot of different brands for years, and so I have kind of experience with like Ciate and Butter and Sarah throw out some other brands that we've
Nails Inc.
Yeah, Nails Inc. All of those, and I can only say that We Are Fluide is probably the number one lasting brand that I've ever used. And honestly, it was just the glitter nail polish. It wasn't actually like a polish itself, but the glitter, which toppers are the hardest things to do and make stay. So your brand lasted probably 2.5 weeks at least without a chip. No chips. So it was and not only is your brand like homey to me, but it felt like it felt really good to have a brand on my nails that was LGBTQ facing, but that lasted as well. Like we have a lot of brands out there that talk about our community and do things for our community, but do they stand up to the rest? Yours does. It really does. It's such a beautiful brand. I'm gonna stop talking and ask you a question so you can start talking.
Sarah, I'm wearing Rosemont from Fluide.
Oh yes.
I think we're both wearing it, right? Yeah.
I am wearing. I think. Yeah. I'm wearing the red that you.
Yeah, we're both wearing Rosemont.
So it's literally one of the best reds I've ever had. Yes. Yes. I was also set a beautiful purple, and it was like a kind of like a graphic and almost metallic purple that you have.
We're halfway to having Poodle Beach. There's so many names.
And then I was also sent a nude, and so I can't wait to wear those on the show. But honestly, your star for me personally, is the glitter liner. And I'm gonna come close to the camera just so I can like show. But on the top of my brow and on the bottom of my brow, as you can see, are two of your glitter liners. There's a blue and there is kind of like an AB pearl. And I will say the names in just a second as soon as I get back to my seat. But these are like the stars for me. I've never interacted with a better. So I have Lil Dipper is one of them, and then the other one is let's make sure we're actually saying these correctly. So yes, Lil Dipper and Crystal Cluster.
Crystal Cluster is my all-time favorite Fluide. That and Candy Bar, the nude liquid lip. Those are my two favorite products.
Yes, these are probably my two new like actual go-tos. Also, I did this. Oh, this is the liquid lipstick I was talking to you about earlier. The purple. I have Poodle Beach right here. Yeah, I have not worn her yet, but I am dying to try this.
She's a fun one. She's bold, but she's fun.
And what is right here for me? Oh, that's Lil Dipper. And then I also have another liquid lipstick that is sitting here, I think. Oh no, that's Poodle Beach. But yes, I have quite a few things from you, and they're beautiful. I also tried you out at a drag brunch today. I told you earlier, and this stayed through my regular drinking of drag brunch and and my talking on a microphone, and I was in a like clear mask, and the mask definitely had touched my lips a couple times. So they stay. They're here. Yeah, nothing on the hands for both of us. They stay. So they're
really good. They're like my favorite. Yeah.
They stay and they slay. So we talked a lot about or a little bit about the beginning of We Are Fluide and Fluide Cosmetics. Also, I want to actually get this from you. We Are Fluide is like the broader term, right? And then Fluide is kind of like the general term, or is it
like the nickname? Like, so you're not saying like We Are Fluide every time.
Got it. Okay. I want to make sure because I respect this brand so much and I want to buy so much more from you. So what what is the thing that what is the thing that you would say makes you different from other cosmetic brands? Outside of just saying, like, we focus on LGBTQ people.
Yeah, I mean, what makes us different is, one, we have a team of all queer people, and more than half of our team is of color.
Yes.
Way more than half of our team, like the minority of our team is Caucasian. But beyond that, I think our products and just the way where we come from, our point of view in making products. I mean, when you have a queer team, is different. We're always thinking of our friends in Brooklyn, the drag artists. Like, we're thinking of outside of just the typical person who buys makeup. I absolutely think our products are for them as well, but we really do think of everyone, and we try to make makeup approachable. We make products that really can be used in multiple ways so that it's not overwhelming to be like, oh, I don't know how to use this. Like our universal line, our universal glosses, our universal liners. It's so fun when we put out a product and we see all of the different ways someone uses like our universal gloss, because it can go on your cheeks, it can go on your eyelids, it can go on your lips. So we try to make products where there isn't as much of a learning curve. And I find a lot of times makeup for people, I mean, I'm not like fully beat, but I'm like a pretty expert makeup person. But I try to make products that are exciting for someone like me or someone like you who is like a makeup person, but also isn't intimidating to someone just starting to get into makeup or someone just starting to transition and play with makeup. Because makeup can be really scary for people, and it can be more than just putting on a lipstick. It's a part of your identity sometimes, and it can really. A lot of people have very traumatizing experiences, and I don't want Fluide to contribute to anyone's trauma around your products. We don't make products to hide anything about yourself. We make products that are for like playing, fun. One of our taglines is "Makeup Rules" because it really is about just like doing whatever you want. Our liquid lipsticks are eye safe, so we really just try and make everything that you can like play. Like you can be a kid again and just like, I like to think of it as like finger painting or something. Like just have fun. It's not that serious.
Yes. I actually have a question for you about one of your products. So, the liquid lipsticks, I have one here. The doe foot is very interesting for me. It's actually kind of not like any other doe foot I've seen. I'm gonna do my best to open this with my nails on. I'm much better without my nails on, but the doe foot is kind of concave and curved. Is there a reason that y'all decided to go with? Yep, this is the color I have on, which is Babe Town. Yeah. Oh, you have it right there. Yes. So we both have doe foots. As you can see, it's curved. It goes a little on my screen. It goes a little to the right, as some people's do. But actually, I like it. It like gathers product correctly, and it's beautiful. So, can you talk to me a little bit about the doe foot?
Yeah, I mean, the doe foot is curved. I really like it because, like you said, I think it gathers the product really well. I think it's great for lining the lips. Like, you don't necessarily need a lip liner. I love lip liners, so I typically do have a lip liner on. But I think a lot of times liquid lips, it's really hard to get like a clean line. But I think with the curve, it really allows you to like contour the lip really well and really focus the product where you want it to go.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I feel like when I was putting this on in my panic of like post drag brunch, need to get to my interview, this was the easiest way to do it. And actually, a friend of mine, Sarah, who was here with me, most of you who are watching know Sarah, but I was like, what is this like weird Dopa? And she was like, oh yeah, Sephora could like kill for these. And not enough people use this Dopa, honestly, because it has this like precision tip to it. Also, you can literally, it like curves to your bottom lip.
It seems like it would like fit your lip.
Yeah, it fits there. I actually just flicked it below my bottom lip, which means I probably have something right here, but that's fine. Okay. So that answers the question though. So thank you. What would you say is your favorite product? I want to know, like, what is your go-to? What is the thing that you cannot deal without? Let me know.
So
yes, Mia, yes.
There are probably 3 products that if they no longer were sold, I would need to like steal like 100 of them from the like warehouse.
Maybe
and that
reconsider the position, right?
Yeah. So one of them is Ginger, the liquid lip. It's an orange liquid lipstick, and I love to use it as a blush. I love an orange blush.
Yes.
And Rosemont works really well as a blush too, but these blend as blushes, like a liquid blush, so well. I'm obsessed. So like I'm like addicted to this one at this point. I can't live without it. And then the other liquid lipstick that I love is Candy Bar, which is the nude liquid lip. It's like a pinky brownish, reddish. It looks gorgeous on literally every skin tone. And then lastly would be the Universal Liner in Crystal Cluster. I love to just, I'll put on just like some lashes, no eyeliner, no eyeshadow, and just pop it in like my crease as like a pop. And it is gorgeous. It like sometimes looks pink, sometimes looks green. It's so much fun, especially if you have like a really clean look and you're just like, let me just pop on a little something in the lid. Obsessed.
So I'd say like a lot of liners recently are oversaturated with color and are a little bit wet, and so they tend to bleed. I'm actually somebody who my eyes water. No matter the second I start putting on makeup, my eyes are like, I got you, girl. Let's do this. Let's fight. And so they start watering. But would you say that your liner is on the terms of like more wet or more dry? Because I not dry. I don't want to say dry because like dry is not a good term when you're saying liner. But is it gonna stay all day? Does it bleed? Those are things I'm asking.
Yeah. So I think it does dry quickly. So it is wet, like it's a liquid liner. But I think the way it dries is really great. It dries really quickly and it's very buildable. So you can have like a really sheer liner. You can also build it up. And I find like some liners, when you start building it up, it gets really like crusty. It starts to peel. It starts to break. But are definitely like fast drying, but not like painful or anything. Like you want it to dry down.
Right.
But it's buildable. So I think they're perfect.
Sorry, as I said, I got a little bit of that liquid lipstick on like my chin. So I'm just touching up, As we go, we touch up, right? Us makeup girls, we do that. What are some of the what would you say is like the most interesting creative process that you've been in creating a product?
Ooh. It would probably be a plan out yet.
Ooh! Oh, we have some like intimate tea. I love that.
I think so. Fluide may be coming out with an eyeshadow palette down the line. And that process, I think, if it happened, was really it just really me personally being the creative director. It really gave me a lot of room to play and to explore. And like when you have a palette, you have like a concept, you have all the shade names, you have a lot of uh, real estate to design the packaging and the creation behind that. So I would say this hypothetical palette would be the most creative product that I've really had a lot of fun with, and I'm really excited for everyone to see.
Ah, my gosh, literally dying on the inside. Cannot wait to see what comes of that. What was probably like the first product that We Are Fluide or Fluide put out?
So Fluid launched with the liquid lipsticks, um, and yeah, that was the first product, and that's like I think some of the images you put up earlier, those campaigns from that, but those are like our first products. Those were the products that drew me to the company. And I think they're really great because they are eyes, so you can also use them as like a liquid liner. You can put them pretty much anywhere you see. I like to use them as blushes, but yeah, they're incredible.
Have you been in the process of creating any of them, or have you seen the process of creating any of them, and how was that for you?
So I haven't necessarily like physically watched like the lab make them or anything, but I definitely have been very vocal in trying the samples, sending things back, um, 2, 3, 4 times to make sure like something looks right. Especially being a person of color, products aren't always made for our skin tones and our complexions, and aren't always made to show up on our skin tone. So that's something that I really am very picky about. Like anything to look ashy, and I want to be. I feel like color should be just as pigmented on me or people darker than me as anyone else. So those are like my big soapbox.
I love that. Um, on the website, so I obviously have done my research on the company. Y'all work with a lot of nonprofits and have been very, very vocal about your support for LGBTQ rights and all of that. What are some of the nonprofits that you work with closely that you would love to just like give a platform to and shout out?
Yeah, so that's probably my favorite aspect, like especially when we're working on a campaign, getting to support different organizations. And during my time with the company, some of the orgs that we've worked with are the Martha B. Johnson Institute, the Black Excellence Collective for the Girls, Callan Lord. There's so many. We've worked with before I started working here, I believe the Trevor Project. And then I'm also, I mean, even just yesterday, I was having calls with some new organizations that I really am excited to announce some partnerships with, and some ways that we're using our platform to amplify them and put money in their pockets. But that's especially being a Black trans person. I really, it's important that we uplift and amplify and give them the money that they deserve, and that they're owed. We're a small company, so we're not some of these huge cosmetic brands that can give $1 million, but we do what we can. We try really hard to make sure that our partnerships are beneficial for them just as much, if not more, than they are for us.
I just have to say, as a, I mean, I identify as a person of color because of my background, but as just a queer person in general, and as a person on this earth, I feel like we should uplift, and we should give back to communities, no matter what they are, in the best place that we can. And so I just really appreciate the fact that y'all are not only creating cosmetics and being a voice in the queer community and the binary / non-binary community, and doing what you do, but also you're giving back to organizations that don't get the recognition that they deserve, and like you said, they need the money that, not, you didn't say need the money, but you said you're giving the money that they deserve. So I feel like this is such an easy, like, solve, is just donate. And like, donations don't have to be thousands of dollars at a time. It can be $1, it can be 50 cents, it can be $5, it can be $10, whatever you can do. I just want to say this to my viewers, like, the Trevor Project, there's Colors of Change, there's so many organizations out there that I could list, thousands, that are dedicated to people of color and to LGBTQ rights, but just a quick Google search will do you right in that in that aspect. But it doesn't take thousands of dollars to support an organization, and so thank you, and we are Fluide for doing what you do and making sure that people are taken care of.
Yeah.
If you could see your brand, this is a personal question for you. If you could see Fluide on the person of your dreams and they were promoting Fluide, who would it be? And let's give just like a little shout out to that person.
Oh my God, there's so many.
Okay, more than one then. Let's do it.
Okay, I really want to see Shea Coulee in Fluide.
Yes!
You know, the Black Queen herself. I also want to see India Moore in Fluide. I want to see Hunter Schafer in Fluide. I want to see Lil Nas X in Fluide. Basically, if you're queer and you're openly queer and you're loud about your queerness, I want you in Fluide. I mean, I want everyone in Fluide, but those are just some of my, I'm not going to say idols, but definitely people that inspire me a lot, and the messages they put out, I think, are so important. And I think there's a lot of resonance between our brand and who they represent, those people. So there are tons. I think everyone should be in Fluide.
Let's take Lil Nas X and put them in Fluide. What product would you put them in?
Oh, I mean, all of them. I'd want to do like a bold lip, maybe Poodle Beach. I think a purple lip would look really fun on Lil Nas X. Maybe a monochrome moment. We do purple on the lid, purple on the lip, and then we go on over with one of our glosses or our crayon in Celestial, which is that like purple one. And give like, you know, kind of a spacey aesthetic. I could totally see like our makeup on Lil Nas X for one of his music videos because they're kind of out there. And us doing like a really bold glitter look that's kind of extraterrestrial. You know, we love space. We're all about the stars. And
Yes.
so I think, you know, something like that. Some Aura glitter, some Poodle Beach.
Ah, yes. Speaking of, currently wearing her.
Yeah.
Right there. In the mouth, on the mouth. Yes. Sarah had a comment that came through. Let's put that back up. I want to make sure we address this. Can I buy your product in any store in the NYC area, or are you online right now?
I believe right now in New York, you could only buy from us online. That is always changing. We end up in like boutiques and stuff. But I think right now the best bet would be on our website.
And the website is
Flu-
just in your, it's fluide.us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's, if for anybody watching under Dev, there is Fluide Beauty, and then there is www.fluide.us. So that is where you would go to buy any of the Fluide products. And we want to make sure that you do, because I can attest this lip is not going anywhere. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Also, these glitter liners are stunning.
And now is the time to do it. We have a Valentine's Day sale happening right now. So with code, use code VDAY25 at checkout, and you'll get 25% off all of our products. So, and that is running through Sunday. So
Dominic is very quick with everything. So that's VDAY25.
yes.
So Dominic will probably put that up in the next few seconds, because he's literally like the craziest person and will absolutely do. Yep, there it is, VDAY25. So go to fluide.us and use the code VDAY25, and you will receive, say it again,
% off everything.
Yes, everything that we have, that they have. Listen to me, joining your company already.
Like, we are Fluide. Hey.
We are Fluide, yes. Everything we have on our website, yes. What would you say is something that stands out on your website that is not normally recognized? So there are a lot of cosmetics. Obviously, glitters are popular. There is something that there are a lot of liquid lips. What is something that people don't necessarily recognize that is like your wow?
Like product wise?
Yeah.
I would say any of our universal products, especially our universal glosses. We just came out with a new one that is like more pigmented and red, and that is Mars. But I think those glosses they're like a cult favorite. Like, people are really obsessed with them. And I think it's just because of the versatility of the product. You know, so many people love just a lip gloss, but it's a little bit thicker. It's not sticky. It makes like a really great highlighter on the cheeks. The red one makes a great, like, almost like a liquid blush, but it's like a glossy blush. It's really cool. And then I think it makes it really easy, like, for those glossy lids. You know, a lot of people love to do like lip gloss on the lids. So I would say that is probably one of our most like iconically Fluide products that people like really love from us. And then I also think it's really exciting. Like, we have a candle that I like labored over and smelled so many scents, and we don't find candles at a lot of beauty brands, but we really wanted to have products that go beyond just the typical makeup. Like, everyone doesn't wear makeup, but we think Fluide is for everyone. So coming out with product hoodies that, you know, can apply to the people that don't want makeup but want to support a queer brand, a queer message, and just want to present it by Fluide. We think that's so important, and we have more fun accessories on the way.
I love that. So we have people watching. We talked about doing a giveaway, and before we ask the last few questions, I want you, if you are willing, to kind of set the boundaries for our giveaway. Like, what do we want to see? What we can do it in the comments, and Dominic will do that for us. But what do we want to see? What is the thing we want people to message in to earn that giveaway?
Ooh.
I just want to say to everybody, and this is also giving Deb a moment to think. I am putting Deb on the spot, and so they are going to make sure that the giveaway is in Fluide's like alignment, but I am putting Deb on the spot, and they are definitely making sure that that this is like Fluide approved. But I just really think that these products are something that all of my viewers are going to enjoy, and they're beyond what I expected, honestly. A lot of smaller brands are good and have good product and are wonderful for like the one silver. But I will say that again, this lip, I'm literally like I rubbed, and there's like almost nothing on my hand. Well, I did this earlier, so this is from earlier. This is from earlier. This is from now, and like there's almost nothing on my hands, and I literally like, yeah. There we go. I you can do it better than I can. Actually, okay. Clean finger. Ready? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Clean finger.
Hard to take sometimes.
The liquid lips are wonderful, and the glitter liners are beyond. The amount of compliments that I got at the brunch that I entertained at today about the glitter was crazy. I don't usually, because I'm a glitter, I will say this, I'm a glitter whore. I love glitter. You can put glitter all over me. I'm wonderful with that. And the liner, people were like, "Oh, that's like interesting. That's how you used it." But it's because it was a liner that I chose. I used this beautiful, like, look at the glitter in these. And this is Lil Dipper. It's like a blue, purple, shifty beauty. And then I also have this opalescence glitter on my lid that is crystal cluster, which is beautiful. I'll bring that closer. Oh, that one is like apparently it's ethereal. So it's so. But anyways, these are beautiful products. I was stalling a little bit so that I could give Deb a minute to like plan what they were gonna say. So Deb, if you are going to require something from our audience on a giveaway, what would you require?
So I was gonna ask, do you want like something logistically, like they answer in the comments, or?
It's up to you. It 100%. I am leaving this in your court. If you want them to say what their favorite product in life is, if you want them to say what their favorite hair care product is, if you want them to say how they wear their hair or how they dress or what their style is, I'm down.
Yeah, well, it's Black History Month. So
yes,
I want to know your favorite Black queer figure.
Favorite Black queer figure. Anybody who is watching right now, if you message in, and Dominic will put up the very first comment, and the very first comment will be the winner. Then Deb and I will work with you personally to send you some Fluide cosmetics. So, favorite Black queer person in history, and we will make sure that is what is the winner. So while we continue this, Dominic is going to be watching the comments. And my next question for you is, not only do you carry oh, you said this already. You started to go into this. Not only do you carry gorgeous cosmetics, but you have a completely different section of your website that has sweatshirts and candles and home goods and what is that like, having a cosmetic brand one that is not only focused on cosmetics, but like, what are some of your favorite products?
Ooh.
that are not cosmetic related?
Yeah, my favorite. Well, that's hard. I love this hoodie probably because I designed it partially. Um, I love the hoodie. I love, love, love the candle. I'm obsessed with the scent. I I created the scent, so I'm a little biased, but I'm obsessed with the candle. I want like 1,000 of them. Um, and I also love. I don't know if we still have this for sale. I think it's sold out, but I loved our Pride T-shirt, which was in collaboration with the queer graphic designer Hippie Potter. I don't know if you're familiar, but they're like a really big dancer artist. And we worked with them and the Marsha P. Johnson Institute to design that T-shirt.
Yes.
And proceeds went towards Marsha P. Johnson Institute. So that shirt to me, just what it represents and the design, I think is incredible. So I like that a lot of these, a lot of our accessories that we create are like companion products to collections that have a bigger message. Like the candle was for our Radical Rest collection. It said "You're a child of birth," and that collection was like a love letter to Black trans women. All of our models were Black trans women, and the proceeds of that collection went to For the Girls, which does pay for gender affirming procedures and rent housing for Black trans women, which is so 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 important. So I love what these products represent. I love them all.
Can you explain a little bit? And then actually, I believe we have a winner. But before we jump into that, can you explain the scent of the candle? Because I'm actually very intrigued by this candle. I saw it on your website and I was like, do I purchase? Do I not? Can you explain the scent a little bit?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. I almost don't want to say what what is in it, but it's very warm. I don't know. It's like a very warm, kind of musky, but also sweet scent because I didn't want to design something that was like too fruity and too sweet, and also something that was like too heavy. And I think it's like a perfectly good balance of like it has like that vanilla smell to it, but it also has kind of like a musky smell. Because you actually learn when you start designing candles how gendered they are. They actually
Yes.
like are masculine scents and feminine scents, and these are for men and these are for women, and that was like really against what I stand for. So it was really fun to kind of design a scent that wasn't gendered, or it was almost like confusing. Like it's like almost like an androgynous smell. But I think it's like a perfect wintry because it was part of our holiday collection, like wintry scent. I don't know. It feels like home for me. Like it feels like you're like cooking like your Christmas dinner and you light this
Yeah.
candle. It's very grounding.
Deb, a personal question for you. Are you from New York?
I'm not. So I grew up in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I grew up in Maryland. And I was born in North Carolina. Both of my parents are super Southern. My dad's from Mississippi and my mom's from Georgia, and I lived in both places. So I've kind of floated around everywhere, but I am not a native New Yorker.
I hear that. Same. I've been here 10 years now. And I hear 10 years means you
You're
can actually claim being there. Well, there's different stories. So like some people say 10 years you can claim being New Yorker, and then some people say that you have to be born here to be a New Yorker. But I stick with the 10 years because I love New York so much. It's such a cool melting pot, and I just like want this to be my home more than anything.
Yeah, you're a New Yorker.
I love that. Okay, so I do feel like we have a winner. I'm looking at the comments. I'm sure Dominic saw me like reach forward. I'm looking at the comments now, and I feel like we have one. And Laverne Cox from Sheena. Sheena is actually my cousin, and so I love that. She lives in Michigan.
Yeah.
And she is the historical Black figure, LGBTQ figure that we are looking at right now. I love that.
Laverne is incredible. And Laverne has worn Fluide.
Laverne, fun story. So I actually used to be the general manager of Lucky Chang's. And Laverne used to be our lap dance girl. So she used to give lap dances during the shows. And she's a very dear friend of mine, and I love her so much. And so it's wonderful that my cousin actually, I don't think Sheena's actually met Laverne, but I know a couple of my friends have. But Sheena used to live in Brooklyn and now lives in Michigan, and or lives back in Michigan, I should say, because we both came from Michigan. So yeah, Sheena won. She is magnificent. Seriously, wow, that's awesome. Yes, Sheena, you are the winner. I just wanna, I'm gonna call out a couple of the other things. Dominic, you don't have to put these up. But Rue is one of the call outs. Yeah, there we go. And I feel like, oh, my sister actually said Laverne Cox also. Karis is my sister, if you want to put that up. Yes, Laverne. Laverne is a huge inspiration.
Watch
and
Disclosure on Netflix. So good.
Yeah. Say that again.
Watch Disclosure on Netflix, the documentary she created about trans representation in film and media. It's so important for everyone.
Yes. I mean, could not agree more. Anything Laverne puts out is like gold. And I feel like, oh, my husband just put one in, which is Marsha P. Johnson. Marsha P. Johnson is also, first of all, for any of you LGBTQ people out there, I just have to say this. For any of you LGBTQ people out there, I'm pushing my hair back for a reason, that say that Black trans people did not do what you thought they did. Marsha P. Johnson is one of the forefront people of our rights as LGBTQ people. Marsha P. Johnson was the person who did what we needed done and who challenged the people that needed to be challenged. And Marsha P. Johnson is a trans person of color who deserves our respect. And we can Harvey Milk all day. We can do all of these other things all day. But Marsha P. Johnson deserves her time and deserves her respect. And I want to see a Marsha P. Johnson, just like we have a Milk movie. That's what I want to see. Yeah, we Dev is gonna play Marsha P. Johnson because Dev is beautiful and stunning and can throw a brick like nobody's business.
I want my gay rights and I want them now. That's what she said. Also, Stormy De Larverie is actually the one who threw the first punch at Stonewall. Yes. And Sylvia Rivera. Queer people, especially gays, it's really to recognize the femmes and the women that gave you your rights.
100%.
So the misogyny gotta stop.
I even feel like as a Latin person that we sometimes get more respect than Black individuals who are queer. And so I just want to say that, like, yes, Sylvia did what she did, but I really have to shout out my Black trans brothers, sisters, and non-binary brothers, sisters, and just queer Black people in general, because y'all have done so much in our community, and because of skin tone, you get less respect, and that's not what I'm about. I am. It's hard for me to say I'm lucky to be less pigmented than like my family, but even my sister, who commented in a little bit ago, is half German, half Native American, and she is probably darker complected than me, and I'm Mexican and Native American, and she where was I going with that? You go off on a tangent, and then you're like, where am I going? Yeah, but I feel like she has sometimes more room. That's where I was going. She has sometimes more room to speak than me because of her complexion, and I'm half and half, and I still feel like my people don't get enough respect, but black identifying people and Black people in general just don't get the respect that they deserve, and so. I know that not only are queer people a focus of Fluide, but skin tone is a huge thing for you, and making sure that people feel that they can wear your product no matter their skin tone. I've seen that in your campaigns. I know it's on your website, but I would love to get your take on that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important, especially in beauty. I mean, now it's a trend to be inclusive and come out with 50 foundation shades. Rihanna made it cool. But we've always been making our work for everyone. And that we see everyone, even beyond skin tone, body types. We try to represent all different people in our marketing to make sure that everyone knows that the product is for them. If you like makeup, we are for you. If you want to wear makeup, we're for you. And so I just think that's so important. That representation. And that's what kind of for me, like the inclusivity, I know it's like a hot topic word, but that is at my core what drives me and what I care about, because I used to be a boy in makeup. I was a beauty boy, and just even in that world, being like a makeup influencer and working with brands, you get so much less respect. And then being a Black one on top of that, it's like you're like not even seen. So I come from a place of knowing what it's like to be overlooked and your talents like not acknowledged for something you can't control and for something that you don't want to change. So I just think it's so important that we uplift the marginalized groups of people who are not seen and who do not see themselves in anything. So it comes from a genuine place. It comes from kind of a selfish place in my end, but it really, for us, like just a marketing tactic or anything, it comes from like a genuine, like emotional place. Like whenever we're casting a photo shoot, it's who do we know? Who can we work with that isn't being represented? How can we uplift these people? And I love working with models who aren't models and just like seeing them glow on set. And like people have come up to me afterwards, like never thought anyone would ever ask me to be in a beauty campaign. And I get chills. Like I'm like, you're beautiful and you need to know this. And you being in this campaign is gonna like mean so much for so many other people. I think it's so important. And it's like why I do what I do and why I talk so much and I argue with people and I like really have an agenda, because it's so important that we're represented. I didn't have anyone to look in a magazine and feel like there was like hope for me to do this. Like me wearing makeup was like the scariest thing in the world, because I didn't even see anyone like me wearing makeup or expressing themselves and just living unapologetically. So for me, it's so important and so deep, and it goes even beyond skin tone and beyond gender. It's like a soul thing. We all deserve to feel beautiful. We all deserve to feel seen. And if Fluide can help do that, we're gonna do it until we don't, which is hopefully. Um, but yeah, it's just so important to me.
Yes. Beauty. A couple things that I have in reaction to that. First of all, we should never apologize for being people of color. That's the first thing that I have to say. And then the next thing I have to say is, I've been a makeup artist for years, and I have worked on anybody from Amanda Lepore to who was it? Was it Keira Knightley that came in at one point? One of the people who was in one of the Star Wars somethings. Natalie Portman, that's who it was. They all look the same. In my opinion, white girls all look the same. They do it to us very frequently, so. But I will say that the people that have been the best clientele as a makeup artist have been women of color, men of color, and people who are out of the ordinary when you think of model. Because models, you think of like size 1 to, or sorry, double 0 to like a size 2. And that's not real. I mean, it is real because people actually have that body type, and I don't want to say that those aren't real body types, because some people have them out of happenstance and not choice. But the reality is our average body type is like 12 to 16. That's actual average. For all of you out there, that's actual average. 12 to 16 is like real body type. And there are people who have real body types outside of that are above a 16. And the people that have been I don't want to say conforming, because that's like a horrible way to say this, but the people that have been the most warm, that's what I was looking for. Obviously, this like brunch before this interview is catching up with me. But the people who have been the most warm and the most welcoming and have just like said, just do whatever you want, and like, as long as I look good for the campaign, I'm good, are the people that are people of color and who have a different body type and who are just the people that you're reaching out to at Fluide. And I say that because I wanted to tell that story, because the ideal, those people are unhappy people a lot of the time, because they're living up to a standard that is unobtainable and is not real in a lot of cases. There are people, I'll put this out there because I know I'll get feedback, but there are people who cannot help their body size and are skinnier than necessary, not necessary, that are skinnier than the average, and who like live their lives to gain weight and to do all these things, and who are white but are not oppressive and all of that. However, our real life is lived in this world of, you need to be this, but you're not this. And that works for people who are not the right body shape and who are not the right skin tone. And you are doing, for lack of better terms, God's work in allowing these people to be a part of your campaigns, and not allowing, but inviting these people into your campaigns, and creating makeup that is for these people, and beyond cosmetics, having accessories and sweatshirts and candles that just make them feel at their home. And so I wanted to say that in a very long-winded pantomime that I've gone on. My husband is looking at me like, shut up and let Dev talk. But but that's what I wanted to get out there, is that this is what Fluide is about to me. That's what I see.
And I think that's so important. That's what we want everyone to feel. So that is really heartwarming. And I also think, but just based on what you were saying, like, there's nothing wrong with being a size 2. You have that reputation. You see yourself. I think what's wrong is that there are so many other people who are not able to have that luxury of seeing yourself in a magazine, on a billboard, in an Instagram post. Like, so many of us don't get to feel seen and beautiful and worthy and celebrated. And I think that is like the missing piece that people forget, is like, certain white people, certain skinnier bodies, like, you are celebrated. And no one's saying you shouldn't be. We're saying other people should also be celebrated. Like, we've probably had size 2 models in our campaigns. There's nothing wrong with that. However, they're not all of our models. If there is a size 2 model in our campaign, I can promise you there's multiple other body types campaigns, because we want our campaigns to look like the people walking down the street, the people that we grow up with, the people that we see in real life, and that is all types of people. So it's not about excluding any group of people. It's about telling the full story and making sure everyone has the opportunity and the chance to be seen. Like, I know something that, this is probably so stupid, or sounds, I don't think it's stupid, but something that I want to make sure we do in future campaigns is like have people that wear glasses in our campaigns. You never see people that wear glasses in beauty campaigns, but it's like, people with glasses wear makeup, and there are queer people who wear glasses, you know. So it's even for me, it's something that I'm always thinking about, something that I'm always learning. The other day, I was sending Laura a YouTube video, a blind makeup artist who was educating people on the importance of like tactile packaging to make for them, like, doing their makeup, they can tell like a certain product based on how it feels, based on like the texture. And I was saying like, oh, like, this is something we should consider in future packaging. Like, we're not always getting it right. We're always learning and trying to do better with each product and with each campaign. So I don't ever expect perfection from any brand or any person, but there should be an effort. There should be research and learning and conversations happening about how to be more inclusive. No one is ever going to be perfectly, like, there's no, now we're inclusive. It's something you're doing. It's an act. And I think I'm fortunate and really blessed to work with a company that is receptive to me sending a YouTube video about a blind makeup artist and using tactile packaging to make sure that they feel seen when they're purchasing a mascara. They deserve to have products that work for them just like everyone else. I'm rambling.
No, I mean, that's exactly what I wanted to get from you, is like what the beauty and draw of Fluide is. Dominic, if you want to put up the last comment that came in, I could not agree more. Yes, Deb, you are gorgeous. Yes. Actually, let's do this one. The next comment. This is actually from a personal standpoint, because this is my sister. Arthritis brushes would be amazing for a company like Fluide. My sister and I both are arthritic. She is much more in the arthritic world than I am. I'm lucky to not be as in depth as she is, but she she actually went to school for makeup artistry, and has a hard time actually handling like the brushes now. So if that's something that you would be willing to focus on, also that's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I just love when people like give us those kind of comments because I'm not arthritic yet, or I think actually the people in my family are actually. I think I probably actually will be at some point, but I'm not something that's top of mind. So I love when people are like comment on our posts, like, are you thinking about this? Like the reason we have biodegradable glitter now is because our followers said biodegradable glitter. Like glitter is really harmful. What are you doing to contribute to that? So that's definitely something I will bring back to our team and um, discuss and hopefully,
Yes.
can produce.
I have kept you so long, longer than I anticipated, but I have one last question for you, and that's
Yeah.
what's coming up for Fluide and you, honestly, because you're actually not only the Fluide representative to me, but you're such a beautiful and interesting person, and I want to know what's going on with you. So if you can give me what's coming up for Fluide, what's coming up for Dev, I would love that. And you and I are definitely staying in contact because I
Yeah,
live for you.
yeah, for you. What's coming up for Fluide? So a lot. Fluide, we just last week wrapped up the campaign that will be coming out, I believe, in March, and it'll have two new products. I'm trying to decide how specific I want to. One is a mascara, and the other is a matte liner, and then another product that we already sell. But it's going to be a really great, just kind of collection of staple products everyone needs. Um, so I'm really excited about it. I love the campaign and the image. We also just recently launched our own like virtual talk show that will be happening bi-weekly. Sometimes I'll be hosting, sometimes our social media manager, Pris, will be hosting. And they're like a gorgeous, amazing, super talented person. So super excited about that. We'll probably be tapping you for a
Please
conversation.
do.
Yeah. Um, so that'll be twice a month. And then Pride is surprisingly close. Like every time I think, I'm like, oh my God, Pride is like
I
tomorrow.
know.
And for Fluide, I'm sure for you as well. Like for Fluide, that's like our biggest sales wise. That's our biggest time. Press wise, that's our biggest time. And then we always come out with like some really big products and collections and team up with some orgs so that we can use that like moment to support some other organizations. And so I had some really fun calls about ways that we can celebrate Pride and celebrate our history. And we're going to have some really great new products coming out in June. And tons of nail polish. Get ready. If you like the nail polish, we have so many new shades coming. It's
The
a little
nail
over.
polish is gorge and lasts forever.
Yeah. I'm really excited about some of the new shades. So we'll definitely make sure you get them. And then, yeah, that's everything I can think of off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's a lot more. Personally,
Yes.
so the rehearsal today I did was for a music video I'm choreographing for one of my good friends. They're like coming out with like a new project, and I'm a dancer, so I choreographed it. So that I'm super excited for. I'm not exactly sure when that video is coming out, but I'll be posting about it and everything. And then TikTok series going on now, where I highlight different Black LGBT members and LGBT history, even outside of Black History Month. I'm typically on TikTok educating the little Gen Z babies about queer issues and queer people. But right now I'm focusing on Black queer people specifically for Pride. So definitely check out my TikTok. Um, Doing some work with Pose. I do like some acting stuff, some extra work. So
Yes.
Pose, love the cat, like just whole jam off. I love everything about Pose. And I've had some auditions, so you may see me in some other places. I can't really say too much, but yeah, like I said, I'm a dancer, actor, creative director. I'm tired. I do a lot. So yeah,
Yes.
check me out. I'm always on the Fluide page as well. I feel like the Fluide page is my page at this point as well. But yeah, just keep checking out Fluide. There's always new stuff, always new giveaways with great organizations. We probably will have some giveaways coming up towards the end of the month with some smaller Black-owned businesses that are owned by people that work at Fluide. So it's like a really great way to support our own team's businesses. So definitely follow Fluide and just stay in touch with us. If you ever have a recommendation or a question about a product or anything, we're super responsive. We're not like one of those don't reply to the comments kind of companies. Also, feel free to email us any questions. Anything. We love talking. So, yeah, a lot. And even though we're in the middle of a Ponder replay, um, yeah.
Yes. Honestly, am. I just want to say I am blessed to have you on this show, and thank you so much, Vivas. If you have not given up for Dev, please give it up for Dev. They are such a beautiful person, and I cannot wait to continue our relationship, Dev. It's been such a beautiful interview, and I feel like you and I will just be like sisters going forward, honestly.
Yes.
Also, not only give it up for Deb, but give it up for Deb's hair. This hair is the most gorgeous fucking hair. I have to say, your hair is gorgeous. It's full, it's beautiful, it's Diana Ross moment. It's giving me like everything I need in my life, and you are stunning. So,
Thank you
Viva,
so much.
yeah, Vivas, we love Deb, we love Fluide. Give it up. I am just so grateful to have you on the show today. And if you have not checked out www.fluide.us, please do. Not only are they wonderful brands, again, did this. Oh, I did it with the wrong finger. Did this. There's nothing on this finger. Obviously, that's from earlier. That was actually from testing out a shade. This is from right now. So doesn't transfer. It's a good liquid lipstick. It's beautiful. The glitters are stunning. And I cannot wait to try out more of their products. I will continue to push you forward on Viva Aaliyah. You are such a beautiful brand to me, and I cannot wait to see where you go. And if you happen to get into the color of skin aspect of life, you never know. We might just have like a little painting moment on the show together. Devin, you never know. Deb and I might have to do a full show of where we just paint our mugs together.
Yes. I promise you, I typically wear more makeup.
Honey, you look stunning. You look like you have on a full face, but also look like the most natural beauty in the world. So give it up for my dear friend now, Dav. Thank you for being on the show. I will talk to you in just a second. I'm just going to close out the show, and then we will chat a little bit more. Thank you for being on the show. Give it up for Dav from Fluide Cosmetics. Yes. Vivas. Dear Vivas, I was supposed to introduce a judge for Viva Entertainer Pageant today. That is my bad for not doing that. So next week we're going to introduce two judges. and we will have that ready for you. We are moving forward with the Viva Entertainer pageant. If you know anybody that would like to enter, this pageant is not for queens alone. It is for queens. It is for kings. It is for MI, FI. It is for closet ball queens. I just want anybody who is an entertainer and who thinks they can bring to the pageant what we're looking for to enter. We already have 5 of the 10 spots cast. We are only doing 10 spots for the first year because we want to make sure that this is a pageant that you are ready for and that we can sustain. So if you want to register, go ahead. I love you all. You are such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful audience. And next week, we are going to introduce a new show to the Viva Aaliyah LLC, which is All the Munches. We are going to do the first show right here on Viva Aaliyah. So check that out. And don't forget your cocktail, because what the fuck is in your glass? Should I start saying it that way? What the fuck is in your glass? I see Deb living on the back end, so we're here for it. All right. I love you all. We will see you next week. Don't forget to tune in. We are now on Twitter. We started just on Facebook. We have now expanded to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I am just blown away. I hope that we can work out Instagram and continue to grow. We are also in season 3. Just so you know, I am making this commitment to you. We are going to make our show a podcast, which means you will not see what we are doing. Hopefully that will draw you to see what we are doing. But we are going to also be a podcast. We have Facebook page, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch right now. But we will also be adding on a podcast element in season 3. So keep an eye out for that. If you have not subscribed to Fluide, we are Fluide. We are Fluide, Fluide, right? Yes. I'm checking. I'm looking. Actually, I can see Deb on my on my screen, but y'all can't see them on your screen. But I was looking for the thumbs up. Fluide. We are Fluide on Facebook. You can also catch them on their website. And Dominic will throw the website up here in just a second while I close out the rest of the show. I love you all. You are a wonderful audience. I cannot believe that we are rounding out season 2. Fluide.us, thank you. I cannot believe that we are rounding out season 2. We do 22 episodes a season. So we did 22 episodes in season 1. We have almost completed 22 episodes in season 2. We are already booking season 3, but I also want to hear from you. So this address I want to obviously address, www.fluide.us. However, I want to know what you want to see in season 3. Tell me. We have things booked, but we also have a lot of things open. A lot of slots open. So, Aaliyah at AaliyahMartinezQueen.com is my email address. Go ahead and email me. Let me know what you want to see. You want to see more trans people on this show? I'm here for it. You want to see more, you want to see another panel on gender nonconforming people? Let's do this. You want to see a panel on queer adoption? I'm here for it. If you want to see, we had a panel in season 1. I listened to you. We had a panel in season 1 on conversion therapy. You wanted to know what happened after conversion therapy, after we had that show. We're going to talk to those beautiful people again about where they are in their life now after they were on Viva Aaliyah, and what questions they got and what's going on. So we're going to bring them back for you. You asked me, I'm delivering. We are going to have a a panel on silicone injections in the queer community because trans people do not have access to healthcare like we do as cisgendered people. They do not have access to healthcare like we do as cisgendered people. Put that in your minds, right? That's not right. It's not okay. We are people. It shouldn't be cis versus trans. It should be people. End of story. They do not have access to healthcare. So they are injecting, some of them are unfortunately injecting themselves with things that are not medical grade. And that's based on their gender dysmorphia and why. And I want people to speak on that are not me. I don't want to speak on that. I want them to speak on that because that's their journey and not mine. And I can't speak for other people. So we are going to have a panel on that. All of these things are coming in season 3. And that's because of you. That's because of our viewers and the things you've asked for. Viva Aaliyah is a show that talks to queer people about their life experiences and the things that they do. And we want to make sure that queer people are telling their stories their ways. We, as queer people, are telling our stories our ways, not somebody else telling our stories. End of story. All right. We are wrapping it up because I have rambled enough. But I love you. You are wonderful. And I will see you on the next one. Next week is our last show of season 2. So tune in. I cannot wait to see you. Don't forget your glass and be true to yourself. Viva Aaliyah.
Viva Aaliyah.